We're live, Raj. Welcome back. Hello. How are you?
Hi, Chris. I'm very good. How's things at your end?
I can't complain. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you again. How about a quick update on where you or we are at in various things?
Okay, so the first update is on the fellowship. The current status is the reviewers got back to me. I addressed those comments, sent them back. They came back to me again with a little concern about the evidence. I addressed that, and then that is being submitted last week to them. So I'm just now waiting to hear more from Lee and see what happens there. And so that's the current status on the fellowship.
And the evidence part was more about referencing, right? So referencing the evidence at the end of your portfolio. Is that right?
That's correct. And they wanted it in each part, like every criteria has got 3 parts. So, so they wanted at least a single evidence in each of those parts. And I had plenty of them. So I've done that. And then it's just now to wait and see what reviewers have to say about that now.
Great. Okay. So we're all crossing our fingers for good news. And I guess I can update you on the paper. So the paper was accepted as a showcase presentation, which is good. It wasn't exactly matching up to what we hoped for, but this raises 2 questions. The first question is, well, we have this excellent manuscript. What do we do with it? And secondly, it opens up the door for talking about what kind of presentation we might do. So the first thing with the manuscript is Chloe.
I think that's okay.
It's like
we have a guest appearance. We have a guest appearance in our video.
It's like the BBC where the little kid is running and then anyway. So I read the 2 referees' reports, which were useful. They seemed quite supportive for the showcase presentation, but less so for a fully refereed paper. So I incorporated some of the suggestions there. Firstly, I worked quite hard on putting in about a page or so on research design and methodology. So, I decided to draw on case study research and also action research. Now, action research, I don't know that well. But essentially, I think this is tailor-made for action research, because action research is when the researchers are actually part of something. They're not separate. So you couldn't get more involved than we are in this process, Raj. So
absolutely.
So that was the first thing. I updated a few things and that. So the manuscript has been sort of rejuvenated, if you like. At least that was my aim. And so what I've been doing is I've spoken to Marina, who's an expert in this sort of stuff, and I've also sent the manuscript to another person whose opinion I really value. And I'm waiting to hear back from them. But Marina suggested the Herd Journal. We should maybe consider sending it to the Herd Journal. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
No, I agree. I think Herd is one of very esteemed journals for higher education research. And I had an opportunity to kind of glance through some of the changes you have made and look at some of those things as well. And I genuinely feel that it's a very, very good manuscript, and it deserves to be published in a decent place. So I think we should definitely give it a try at Herd. And we can also probably have one backup option as well, probably. So if not Herd, like while we are submitting it to Herd, and they will basically get back to us very quickly. So I think if they don't want it, they will let us know maybe within just a matter of days. But if they are considering it, then of course the whole process will start, and it might take a bit of time. So in the worst situation, if they are not considering this manuscript, we will know it very quickly, and we can have a backup option as well.
Yeah. So that sounds great to me. Marina mentioned a few journals, and I think my colleague Bob Fox, who's also very good, will hopefully come back with some ideas. He regularly edits books, so it could be a chapter in a book or something like this. Those sort of things, or another conference proceedings. One of the things is, because we tailor-made the manuscript to FHERDSA, it's very FHERDSA focused. So if we choose a different journal or a different book or something, we might need to downplay the FHERDSA stuff and upplay the promotion and the teaching award, because essentially I was thinking that the FHERDSA stuff could be that's the catalyst. That's the thing that sort of got things started. So, we would update the title. We would, maybe change some of the discussion sections on the actual fellowship and talk more about the promotion process and more about the teaching award, the Butland Teaching Award, than actual FHERDSA. What do you think?
No, I absolutely agree with you, and I think like back, I was invited by my university to give a little talk about the assessments which I've designed for my course. And in another 2 weeks' time, my faculty has invited me to talk to other teaching fellows about promotion. So, and when I'm going to be talking about the promotion, during the promotion workshop, I'll certainly be talking about this, that, how helpful this process was for me. And if other people can really have to do a FHERDSA fellowship to do this, and if they can identify a mentor who can really help them, that could be within the faculty or outside as well. But I absolutely agree with you that if we are not going for HERD or FHERDSA related journal, then of course we can downplay the fellowship part of it and focus more on other bits and pieces.
Yeah, I think one of the key things is these artifacts for reflection. So that's one of the key things. And so I think whether it's FHERDSA or the fellowship or whatever, just using these sort of things as archives and artifacts to reflect on, I think that's the key message. And I mean, we've been doing this for over a year now. And we have a nice library of stuff, which, I'm sure if we went back and compared the first video with the last video, there'd be all sorts of differences, interesting differences. So that was some of the things I was thinking about when I was trying to update that manuscript.
And I think another quick thought I had was, if it is appropriate based on which journal we are aiming at, we should probably be, I am probably okay with putting in our video links there in case if the reviewer want to consider or have a look at some of those as well. Like if we are talking about promotion and we are talking about the teaching award, we have 2 or 3 dedicated sessions on those things. Which actually talks about how we have worked through some of those things. So I think it'll be, if it is suitable, I'm absolutely okay with if we use those videos as link to put in there as well.
Yeah, I agree. And it's tricky because we can't really reveal our identities in the refereeing process. That probably hurts our case, I would say, because unless we would say, insert YouTube video here, URL to be released when in final version of the paper. We could do that, but it's just it's a bit of a balance. So yeah, I'm not really sure how to play that one. It's something that I'd like to share, but I just at the early stages I'm just not sure.
No, fair enough. I think I'm more because I'm still very new in the field of education publications. In other sciences, if we have done things, our names are open, our universities are known to the reviewers, and all that is known right from the start. However, that may not be the case in the education. I definitely understand that and see where you're coming from.
Look, I'm learning too, Raj, and it's just have to learn and roll with it when we can. Let's switch tack a little bit and talk about the presentation.
Yes.
So what were your thoughts there?
I think usual, as per the guidelines, they give us 30 minutes for the whole session. And on an standard way, people say that you can give you can have a presentation for 20 minutes and you can have 10 minutes for question and answer. Or you could plan your session in such a way that you include the audience right from the start. So you don't necessarily have to have a separate time for question and answer and separate time for presentation. So it could be either one of those choices based on how you want to go. I'm open for any one of those things. And I think I quite like the idea of involving the audience right from the start, if that's possible, posing some questions. They will be usually the arrangement during the conference presentation is like a cafe style. So there'll be always 3, 4, 5, 6 different tables, and there'll be chairs around them and people sitting on different tables. And we could pose some questions right before, like right at the start, and then we can take them through some of those things, and we can take their inputs as we go. That was my rough idea. I mean, if you're okay with those sort of things.
Yeah, I agree. I think it makes it more interesting if you can get the audience involved, assuming they have things like phones or devices that they can use. And you know, I guess what we need to think about is what is the key message of our presentation, and then there's things like, well, you know, do we need to use any kind of specially branded slides or any kind of templates? You know, if so, then which ones? And you know, and yeah, I'd like to involve the audience, and I think having 2 people there will add an extra dynamic.
Yeah. I have done a joint presentation in the past, and I think you're right. With 2 people, it makes it really interesting. And we could take turns, and we could be like, you know, or we could go together, or we can plan it in such a way where one person is speaking, other person engages with the audience, or vice versa, or we sort of communicate with each other as a sort of discussion in front of the audience. I'm open for any of those things.
You know what, Raj? I would really like to think about doing it like an infomercial. Have you ever heard of an infomercial, Raj? It's like late night. If you ever stay up late at night, you'll see these crappy things about, I don't know, blue blocker sunglasses or something, and you probably get them in Auckland as well. And you've got 2 people, right? One person is the expert, and one person is the dummy. You know what I mean? And so you know, so one of them says, "Oh, this great vacuum cleaner, you just pack, vac, and stack," and the dummy goes, "I'm confused. Can you say that again? You just pack, vac, and stack. Oh, it's so simple." You know, something like that. Like because there's 2 of us, I'm happy to play the dummy, by the way, because there's 2 of us. We can feed off each other. That's a key thing.
Yeah, I think I absolutely like it. That can be very engaging and interesting for the audience as well, and it may be a little different.
But we can involve the audience, right? You know, how much would you expect to pay for this e-mentoring? $20? Boo! I can see all the audience standing up. Boo! Can't you make it cheaper? Okay, for one day only, $9.95. Yay! Anyway, sorry. I'm a bit crazy here with Chloe visiting today, so
that's good. That's great.
And well, I guess we can we can keep thinking about it, and you know, I'm sure no matter what, we'll give a good presentation. You've got your workshop as well, so, and then you're coming to Sydney the next week, so you've got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, I do have a lot of things going on, and I will probably and did I tell you that the people from Tattle, they approached me and they invited me to be one of the facilitators for Tattle as well.
Great.
So in the morning I will do the Tattle, and in the afternoon I have my workshop, and then of course we have our presentation as well. So my plan is that I will very seriously start planning down these things somewhere around towards May, end of May. So end of May to whole of June, I'll have this time to very seriously think through these things and plan these things. I think FHERDSA doesn't really have a special templates. It's up to us what sort of templates we want to use, and I'm absolutely fine if you have your university template, and we can just, I mean, we can tag along with those, and yeah, we can use those, and it'll be good at some stage for you and me to then sort of finalize this whole plan, that okay, this is how we'll do the introduction. We may do this little activity or this another activity, or we might show this slide or this video to them, and that way we can sort of have a rough structure, and then we can be more impromptu.
Yeah. Makes sense. I think what I try to do, if I'm giving a 20-minute presentation, what I try to do is prepare a 10-minute presentation. So I have this 50% rule, and that way you can just do it leisurely. People can ask questions. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if the projector needs time to warm up or something like that. It's the ones where they're absolutely crammed full of material that to me, that's the risk, right? So why don't you leave the slides and the design with me for a little while, because you're doing all the other stuff, right? You're doing the workshop, you're doing the Sydney thing. Well, why don't you leave it with me, and I'll get the ball rolling on that.
No, that sounds great. And I think we can also come up with these important messages we want to give through this one. I mean, I think for me personally, I think one of the most important thing was to have these Hangout videos on YouTube so that I can reflect on them as and when I want. And I think it's really it's way more impactful if you revisit some of these things. Yep. When we are in a moment of discussing things, and the ideas keep coming in, and then you share those things. But I think to have that live and to watch it as a second person, that was very, very helpful to me. So and then we can come up with other important points, which the message which we want people to take away with them.
Yeah, no, look, I agree, Raj. And I mean, it's good to think of the key points. And to me, the key point is, just have a go. I mean, that's the key thing. That's the thing. If these people want to do it, it's the barriers are pretty low to entry on this. You don't need to be a technical wizard, and you can ground it in some sort of pedagogical model. So. It's not for everybody, but it'd be interesting to see if people would consider it. And also, the phones as well, right? Like that's a big thing. Everybody has a phone now. So
do you think
some of that?
Will it be possible for you to very quickly touch upon the technical side, as in everybody has Gmail basically, so they go to a Hangout, and do they need to go to a certain setting to click so that it records it, or do you have to link it to YouTube? Or if you can just explain that part to the audience. I mean, I'm also relatively new to that, so that will be also handy for them. So if they want to record their own meeting, so they will know how to go and do it.
Sure, definitely. So we can talk a little bit about that as well. So let me think about that and see what we've got time for, and what sort of things we want to put an emphasis on. I think I need to go, Raj. My daughter is being suspiciously quiet, so I'm going to go. So, Chloe, you want to come say goodbye?
Fishy, you want to come, darling? Come here, say bye to Chloe. Hi, Chloe, darling. It was lovely to see you. You've got a gorgeous smile. Oh my God. Fishy, you want to say hello to okay.
Oh, okay. Oh well. Next time. But enjoy the rest of the school holidays. Let's touch base again in a couple of weeks, and we'll go into the green room. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Raj.
Cheers, Chris.